How are you guys doing? Today is Sunday, August 1st, 2021. I'm James Sims, and for this episode of The Elite, I'm going to review the Elite matchups and performances from yesterday, Saturday, July 31st, 2021. And of course, I'm going to preview everything that's going on today as we navigate through the world of sports. And starting off in the MLB, jumping out to Toronto as the Toronto Blue Jays hosted the Kansas City Royals. The Blue Jays would end up beating the Royals 4-0 as they picked up yet another win at home. For the Royals in this matchup, the start and the loss went to Mike Minor. He allowed 4 earned runs in 7 innings pitched as he struck out 6. With this loss, he's 8-9 on the season. In their batting lineup, nobody on their team would finish with more than 1 hit. A lot of that can be attributed to great pitching from the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays win went to Alek Manoah. He allowed no earned runs and only 2 hits in 7 innings pitched as he struck out 4. With this win, he's 3-1 on the season, and in their batting lineup, the only player with more than 1 hit was their center fielder, George Springer. He went 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs. He would go on to hit his 10th and 11th home runs of the season, as those are both of his hits. With this win, the Toronto Blue Jays are now 53-48. That is the 4th best record in the American League East. They've won their last 3 games and they've won 5 of their last 10. They currently trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 8 games in the division, and at the moment they currently trail the Oakland Athletics by 3.5 games for the 2nd American League wildcard spot. With this loss, the Kansas City Royals are now 45-58. That is the 4th best record in the American League Central. They've lost their last 2 games. They've only lost 3 of their last 10, and they now trail the Chicago White Sox by 15 games in the division. Jumping out to Anaheim, the Los Angeles Angels hosted the Oakland Athletics. And in this matchup, the Angels would beat the Athletics 1-0 as the only run scored in the game would be Shohei Ohtani's double, or RBI double that would bring Matt Thassis to the plate. For the Oakland Athletics in this matchup, when they were shut out, the start and the loss was given to Cole Irvin. Irvin would allow 1 earned run in 6.1 innings pitched as he struck out 6. With this loss, he's 7-10 on the year. In their batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit. And for the Los Angeles Angels, the start and the win was given to their starting pitcher, Jaime Barria. Barria would allow no earned runs in 4 innings, he allowed no earned runs, and he only allowed 4 hits in 6.2 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this win, Barria is 2-0 on the year, and the save was given to Raisel Iglesias. Iglesias allowed no earned runs in 1.1 inning pitched as he struck out 2. That would be his 22nd save of the season. And in their batting lineup, the only player that would have an RBI was their all-star designated hitter, Shohei Ohtani. He went 1 for 4 with an RBI in the day, his 82nd of the season. With this win, the Los Angeles Angels are now 52-52. That is the 4th best record in the American League West. They've won 6 of their last 10 games, and they now trail the Houston Astros by 11.5 games in the division. With this loss, the Oakland Athletics are now 59-47. That is the 2nd best record in the American League West, as they've lost 5 of their last 10 games. They trailed the Houston Astros by 5.5 games in the division, and they're holding on to the 2nd American League wildcard spot, sitting 4 games behind the first place Boston Red Sox, and they are sitting 2.5 games ahead of the New York Yankees and the Seattle Mariners, who are the first 2 teams outside of the wildcard picture looking in. Jumping out to San Francisco, the Giants hosted the Houston Astros, and in this matchup of the Titans of the West, the Giants would pull off the 8-6 home win. And for the Astros in this matchup, the start went to Zach Greinke. Greinke allowed 6 runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 4. The loss for Houston would end up going to their second relief pitcher, Blake Taylor. Blake Taylor allowed 1 earned run in .2 innings pitched, and with this loss, he's 2-3 on the year. In the Astros batting lineup, their third baseman, Aldemez Diaz, would go 2 for 4 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his 5th and 6th home runs of the season. Their first baseman, Yuli Gurriel, was the only other player on the team with more than 1 hit as he went 2 for 4 with an RBI. For the San Francisco Giants, the start went to Alex Wood. He allowed 5 runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 3. The win for San Francisco went to their first relief pitcher, Jay Jackson. Jay Jackson allowed 1 earned run in 1 inning pitch as he struck out a batter. He would pick up his first blown save of the season, but he would also pick up his second win of the season. He's now 2-0 for the 2021 campaign, and save number 22 will go to Jake McGee for San Francisco. He allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he struck out a batter. And in the Giants batting lineup, their first baseman, Darren Ruff, will go 2 for 5 with an RBI and 3 runs. Darren Ruff would end up hitting his 11th home run of the season. Their pinch hitting third baseman, Thairo Estrada, would end up going 2 for 3. Their second baseman, Donovan Solano, will go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run as he hit his 4th home run of the season. Their center fielder, Steven Duggar, would end up going 2 for 3. And then their catcher, Kirk Casale, would go 2 for 4 with a run as the Giants as a whole, as a team, finished with 14 hits on the day. With this win, the San Francisco Giants are now 65-39. That is the best record in the National League West. That's the best record in the National League, and that is currently the best record in the major leagues as they were fighting against. They and the Astros are competing for the top team and all for the top record in all of baseball. The Giants have now won 6 of their last 10 games as they now sit 3 games ahead of the second place Los Angeles Dodgers in the division, and they are currently holding on to the number 1 seed in the National League at the moment. And with this loss, the Houston Astros are now 64-41. That is the best record in the American League West, and that's the best record in the American League. They've lost 3 of their last 10 games as they now sit 5.5 games ahead of the second place Oakland Athletics in their division. They hold the number 1 seed in the American League as they sit ahead of the Tampa Bay Rays of the East and the Chicago White Sox of the Central. Jumping out to Detroit, the Detroit Tigers hosted the Baltimore Orioles, and the Orioles were able to beat the Tigers 5-2 after scoring 3 runs in the 6th inning in order to take the lead and build the lead to go past the Tigers. For the Tigers, the start and the loss was given to Matt Manning. Matt Manning allowed 5 runs in 5.2 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this loss, Manning is 2-4 on the year. Nobody in the Tigers lineup would finish with more than 1 hit, and that can be attributed to great pitching from Baltimore. For Baltimore, the start and the win went to John Means. Means allowed 1 earned run in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 6. With this win, he's 5-3 on the year, and the save would end up going to their closer, Cole Sulser. Sulser picked up his 5th save of the year as he allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he struck out 2. With this, or in their batting lineup, their center fielder, Cedric Mullins, would go 2 for 4 with a run. Their first baseman, Ryan Mountcastle, will go 3 for 5 with an RBI and a run. And then their shortstop, Ramon Urias, would end up going 2 for 4 with a run. Additionally, their second baseman, Pat Valaika, would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs. With this win, the Baltimore Orioles are now 37-66. That is the worst record in the American League East, and that is the second worst record in the American League. They've won their last 2 games, and they've won 6 of their last 10. They now trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 25 games in the division. With this loss, the Detroit Tigers are now 50-57. That is the 3rd best record in the American League Central. They now trail the Chicago White Sox by 12 games in the division as they've lost their last 2 games. They've lost 6 of their last 10. Jumping out to Tampa Bay, the Tampa Bay Rays hosted the Boston Red Sox as they were competing for the top seed in the American League East. And the Rays were finally able to take over after they beat the Red Sox 9-5 at home. They were tied at 5. They would end up breaking the tie in the 6th inning, thanks to a triple from their elite young shortstop, Wander Franco. And then Wander Franco's RBI single in the bottom of the 8th would increase their lead to 2. And then Francisco Mejia's 2 RBI single would increase their lead to 4. For the Boston Red Sox on the night, the start and the loss was given to Nate Eovaldi. Eovaldi will allow 6 runs in 5.1 innings pitched as he struck out 6. With this loss, Eovaldi is now 9-6 on the year. In the Red Sox batting lineup, their center fielder, Kike Hernandez, would go 2 for 5. He was the only player on the team with more than 1 hit. And for the Tampa Bay Rays in this matchup, the start was given to Ryan Yarbrough. Ryan Yarbrough would allow 5 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 4. The win went to the Rays' first relief pitcher, Andrew Kittredge. Kittredge allowed no earned runs in one-inning pitches. He struck out 3. With this win, he's 7-1 on the year. In the Rays batting lineup, their first baseman, Ji-Man Choi, would end up going 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 8th home run of the year. Their elite shortstop, Wander Franco, would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. And their catcher, Francisco Mejia, would go 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs and a run as he hit his 5th home run of the season in the 4th inning. With this win, the Tampa Bay Rays are now 63-42. That is the best record in the American League East, and that is currently the second best record in the American League. They've won their last 3 games, and they've won 7 of their last 10. They currently sit half a game ahead of the second-place Boston Red Sox in their division, and they're holding on to the second seed in the American League, sitting behind the Houston Astros out west and sitting ahead of the Chicago White Sox of the Central. With this loss, the Boston Red Sox are now 63-43. That is the second best record in the American League East as they've lost their last 3 games. They've lost 5 of their last 10. They currently trail the Tampa Bay Rays by half a game in the division as they're holding on to the top American League wildcard spot, sitting 4 games ahead of the second-place Oakland Athletics in that race. Jumping out to Miami, the Miami Marlins hosted the New York Yankees in that interleague matchup, and the Yankees would beat the Marlins 4-2. They would end up breaking their 2-2 tie in the 5th inning thanks to the Yankees scoring off of a wild pitch from Anthony Bender. It would be Anthony Rizzo crossing the plate. For the Marlins in this matchup, the start was given to Trevor Rogers. Trevor Rogers would allow 2 earned runs in 3.2 innings pitched as he struck out 4. The loss was given to their first relief pitcher, David Hess. Hess allowed 1 earned run in 1 inning pitch as he struck out 2. With this loss, he's 2-1 on the year. In the Marlins batting lineup, nobody on the team would finish with more than 1 hit. In the Yankees batting lineup, the start was given to Domingo Germán. Germán would allow 2 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 5. The win was given to the Yankees' first relief pitcher, Lucas Luka. Luka would allow no earned runs in 2 innings pitched as he struck out 4. He only allowed 1 hit in those 2 innings. And the save was given to their closer for the day, Jonathan Loáisiga. He would allow no earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he struck out a batter. That would be his 3rd save of the year. In the Yankees batting lineup, their first baseman, Anthony Rizzo, would go 2 for 2 with an RBI and 3 runs. Rizzo would hit his 16th home run of the year. And their second baseman, Rougned Odor, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI. With this win, the New York Yankees are now 55-48. That is the 3rd best record in the American League East. They've won their last 2 games. They've won 6 of their last 10. They now trail the Tampa Bay Rays by 7 games in the division, and they are currently 2.5 games behind the Oakland Athletics in the wild card as they and the Seattle Mariners are the first teams on the outside looking in. With this loss, the Miami Marlins are now 44-60. That is the worst record in the National League East. They've now lost their last 3 games. They've lost 6 of their last 10, and they now trail the New York Mets by 11.5 games in the division. Jumping out to our nation's capital, the Washington Nationals hosted the Chicago Cubs. The Cubs were able to beat the Nationals 6-3 after scoring 4 runs in the 4th inning. For the Washington Nationals in this matchup, the start and the loss was given to Joe Ross. He allowed 5 runs in 4.1 innings pitched as he struck out 5 on the day. With this loss, Ross is now 5-9 on the year. In the Nationals batting lineup, nobody on the team was able to finish with more than 1 hit. For the Cubs in this matchup, the start and the win was given to Kyle Hendricks. He allowed 1 earned run, only allowing 4 hits in 7 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this win, Kyle Hendricks is 13-4 on the year. The save was given to the Cubs closer, Kyle Ryan. Ryan would allow no earned runs in 1 inning pitch. He would pick up his first save of the year. In their batting lineup, their center fielder, Rafael Ortega, will go 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his 3rd home run of the year. Their first baseman, Patrick Wisdom, will go 2 for 5 with a run. And then their shortstop in this matchup, Andrew Romine, would end up going 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. With this win, the Chicago Cubs are now 51-55. That is the 4th best record in the National League Central. They've won 4 of their last 10 games as they now trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 11.5 games in the division. With this loss, the Washington Nationals are now 48-56. That is the 4th best record in the National League East as they've lost 7 of their last 10 games, and they now trail the New York Mets by 7.5 games in the division. Jumping out to Dallas, the Texas Rangers hosted the Seattle Mariners, and in a game that went to 10 innings, the Rangers would beat the Mariners after Jonah Heim's walk-off 2-run home run would give the Rangers win number 37 of the year. For the Seattle Mariners, the start was given to Tyler Anderson. Tyler Anderson would allow 3 earned runs in 5.1 innings pitched as he struck out 3. And then the loss would end up being given to the Mariners closer for the day, Diego Castillo. Diego Castillo would allow 2 runs without registering an out. That would be his 3rd blown save of the season, and with this loss, he's 2-5. In the Mariners batting lineup, their shortstop, J.P. Crawford, would go 2 for 5 with an RBI. Their right fielder, Mitch Haniger, would go 2 for 4 with a run. Their third baseman, Kyle Seager, would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run as he hit his 22nd home run of the season. And for the Texas Rangers, the start was given to Taylor Hearn. Taylor Hearn would allow 2 runs in 3.2 innings pitched as he struck out 3 batters. The win was given to their closer, Spencer Patton. Spencer Patton would allow 2 runs in 2 innings pitched as he struck out 2 on the day. He would pick up his 2nd blown save of the season, and with this win, he's 1-1. In the Rangers batting lineup, their catcher, Jonah Heim, would end up going 2 for 4 with 4 RBIs and 2 runs as his 2 hits were his 6th and 7th home runs of the day. He was the only player on the Rangers with more than 1 hit. And with this win, the Texas Rangers are now 37-67. That is the worst record in the American League West. That is the worst record in the American League. They've only won 2 of their last 10 games as they now trail the Houston Astros by 26.5 games. That is the gap in the American League at this moment. And with this loss, the Seattle Mariners are now 56-49. That is the 3rd best record in the American League West. They've now lost 5 of their last 10 games. They trail the Houston Astros by 8 games in the division, and they now trail the Oakland Athletics by 2.5 games for the 2nd American League wildcard spot alongside the New York Yankees. Jumping out to Pittsburgh, the Pittsburgh Pirates hosted their in-state rival, the Philadelphia Phillies, and the Pirates were able to pick up the 3-2 win at home thanks to a walk-off run after Jacob Stallings reached home on a fielder's choice. And for the Philadelphia Phillies in this matchup, the start was given to Aaron Nola. Nola allowed 2 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 5. The loss was given to the Phillies closer, Jose Alvarado. He allowed 1 earned run in 0.1 inning pitched. And with this loss, he's 6-1 on the year. In the Phillies batting lineup, the only player with more than 1 hit was their first baseman, Brad Miller. He went 2 for 4 with a run on the day. And for the Pittsburgh Pirates, the start was given to JT Brubaker. Brubaker allowed 1 earned run in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 4. The win was given to the Pirates closer, Chris Stratton. Stratton allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he struck out 2. With his win, he's 4-0 on the year. In their batting lineup, the only player with more than 1 hit was their left fielder, Ben Gamel, who went 2 for 4 with an RBI. And with this win, the Pittsburgh Pirates are now 40-64. That is the worst record in the National League Central. That is the 2nd worst record in the National League. They've won their last 2 games, and they've won 4 of their last 10 games. And at the moment, they now trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 21.5 games in the division. With this loss, the Philadelphia Phillies are now 51-53. That is the 3rd best record in the National League East. They've lost their last 2 games, and they've lost 6 of their last 10. They now trail the New York Mets by 4.5 games in the division, and that's pretty much where they sit in their division at the moment. Jumping out to New York, the Mets hosted the Cincinnati Reds in Queens. And the Mets would pull off a 5-4 win in extra innings thanks to a RBI single from Brandon Drury. For the Cincinnati Reds in this matchup, the start was given to Wade Miley. Miley allowed 3 earned runs in 7 innings pitched as he struck out 2. The loss would go to the Reds closer for the day, Luis Cessa. Cessa allowed 1 run without registering an out. With his loss, he's 3-2 on the year. In their batting lineup, their shortstop, Kyle Farmer, would end up going 3 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs on the day. He hit his 10th home run of the season. Then their center fielder, Shogo Akiyama, will go 2 for 4. Additionally, their elite third baseman, Eugenio Suarez, would go 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a run. He hit his 20th home run of the season. For the New York Mets, the start was given to Rich Hill. Rich Hill allowed 4 earned runs in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 4 on the day. The win was given to the Mets closer Edwin Diaz. Edwin Diaz allowed no earned runs in one inning pitch as he struck out 2. With this win, he's 4-4. And in their batting lineup, their right fielder Brandon Drury was the only player on the team with more than one hit. He went 2-4 with an RBI and a run. Additionally, their elite shortstop Javier Baez went 1-4 with 2 RBIs and a run, as Javier Baez hit his 23rd home run of the season. With this win, the New York Mets are now 55-48. That is the best record in the National League East. They have now won 5 of their last 10 games. They currently sit 4 games ahead of the second place Atlanta Braves in the division, as they are holding on to the 3rd seed in the National League, sitting behind the San Francisco Giants of the West and the Milwaukee Brewers of the Central. With this loss, the Cincinnati Reds are now 55-50. That is the second best record in the National League Central. They've now lost 4 of their last 10 games, as they sit 7 games behind the Milwaukee Brewers in their division. They currently trail the San Diego Padres by 4 games for the second wild card spot in the National League. Jumping out to Chicago, the Chicago White Sox hosted the Cleveland Indians. The Indians would pull off a 12-11 win after scoring all 12 of their runs between the 4th and 8th innings. For the Chicago White Sox in this matchup, the start was given to former American League Cy Young winner Dallas Keuchel. He allowed 5 earned runs in 5.1 innings pitched as he struck out 4. And then the loss was given to the White Sox first relief pitcher Michael Kopech. Kopech allowed 5 earned runs in 1 inning pitch as he struck out 1. He would blow his first save of the season, and with this loss, Kopech is now 3-1 on the season. In their batting lineup, their second baseman, Cesar Hernandez, would go 2-for-5. He, alongside Zavala, would be the only players with more than 1 hit. But looking at how their catcher, Sebi Zavala, played, Sebi Zavala would go 4-for-4 with 6 RBIs and 4 runs. Sebi Zavala would end up hitting his first, second, and third home runs of the season. I think he was the first player in MLB history to hit his first 3 career home runs in the same game. Pretty sure that's a thing. And for the Cleveland Indians in this matchup, the start was given to Triston McKenzie. McKenzie allowed 6 earned runs in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 2. The win was given to their first relief pitcher, Justin Garza. Garza would go on to allow no earned runs in 2 innings pitched as he struck out 3. And the save would end up going to their closer, Emmanuel Clase. He allowed no earned runs in 1.2 innings pitched as he struck out a batter. With his win, he has 13 saves on the year. In their batting lineup, their shortstop, Ahmed Rosario, would go 2-for-3 with 2 RBIs and 3 runs on the day. Rosario would hit his 6th home run of the season. Their elite third baseman, Jose Ramirez, would go 2-for-5 with an RBI and a run. Their left fielder, Harold Ramirez, would go 2-for-5 with 2 RBIs. Their catcher, Austin Hedges, would end up going 2-for-4 with 2 RBIs and 2 runs, as Austin Hedges hit his 5th home run of the season. With this win, these Cleveland Indians are now 51-50. That is the second best record in the American League Central, as they've won 4 of their last 10 games. They now trail the Chicago White Sox by 8 games in the division. With this loss, the Chicago White Sox are now 61-44. That is the best record in the American League Central, as they've lost 7 of their last 10 games. They currently sit 8 games ahead of the second place Cleveland Indians in their division, as they are holding on to the 3rd seed in the American League, sitting behind the Tampa Bay Rays out east and the Houston Astros out west. Jumping out to St. Louis, the St. Louis Cardinals hosted the Minnesota Twins, and in this matchup, the Twins would beat the Cardinals 8-1 after scoring 7 of their 8 runs in the first 3 innings and 5 of their 8 runs in the 3rd inning. For the St. Louis Cardinals in this matchup, the start and the loss was given to Jake Woodford. Jake Woodford allowed 7 runs in 3 innings pitched as he struck out 3. With this loss, he's 2-3 on the year. In their batting lineup, their elite third baseman, Nolan Arenado, would go 2-for-3 with a run. Their future Hall of Fame catcher, Yadier Molina, would go 2-for-3 as well. And for the Minnesota Twins, the start was given to Bailey Ober. He allowed 1 earned run in 4 innings pitched as he struck out 6. The win was given to their first relief pitcher on the day, Jorge Alcala. Alcala allowed no earned runs in 2 innings pitched as he struck out 2. With this win, he's 3-5 on the year. In the Twins batting lineup, their second baseman, Jorge Polanco, would go 2-for-5 with 2 runs. Their first baseman, Miguel Sano, would go 2-for-4 with an RBI and 2 runs. And with this win, the Minnesota Twins are now 44-61. That is the worst record in the American League Central, and that is the third worst record in the American League. They've won 4 of their last 10 games as they now trail the Chicago White Sox by 17 games in the division. With this loss, the St. Louis Cardinals are now 52-52. That is the third best record in the National League Central. They've lost 5 of their last 10 games, and they now trail the Milwaukee Brewers by 9.5 games in the division at the moment. Jumping out to Atlanta, the Atlanta Braves hosted the Milwaukee Brewers, the kings of the National League Central at the moment. The Braves were able to beat the Brewers 8-1 after coming from behind and breaking their 1-1 tie in the 6th inning, courtesy of a 2-run home run from Dansby Swanson, and then another grand slam from Dansby Swanson would give the Braves some more. Dansby Swanson, 7 of the Braves' 8 RBIs would give the Braves what they needed to pick up their 52nd win of the year. For the Milwaukee Brewers, the start and the loss was given to Brandon Woodruff. He allowed 3 earned runs in 5.1 innings pitched as he struck out 6. With this loss, the All-Star is now 7-6 on the season. In their batting lineup, their second baseman, Colton Wong, will go 2 for 4. Their right fielder, Avi Garcia, would end up going 2 for 3 on the day. Their center fielder, Lorenzo Cain, would end up going 3 for 4 as well. And for the Atlanta Braves, the start went to Kyle Muller. Kyle Muller would allow 1 earned run in 5 innings pitched as he struck out 7. The win was given to the Braves' first relief pitcher, Jesse Chavez. He allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitched. And in the Braves batting lineup, their elite second baseman, Ozzie Albies, would go 2 for 5 with a run. Their elite first baseman, reigning National League MVP, Freddie Freeman, would go 2 for 5 with a run. Their new right fielder, Jorge Soler, would go 3 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Their shortstop, Dansby Swanson, will go 3 for 4 with 7 RBIs and 2 runs as he hit his 19th and 20th home runs of the season. And with this win, the Atlanta Braves are now 52-53. That is the second best record in the National League East as they've won 5 of their last 10 games. They now trail the New York Mets by 4 games in the division. And with this loss, the Milwaukee Brewers are now 62-43. That is still the best record in the National League Central as they've only lost 4 of their last 10 games. They sit 7 games ahead of the second-place Cincinnati Reds in their division, and they now are sitting in the second seed. They hold the second seed in the National League at the moment behind the Giants out west, and they sit ahead of the New York Mets out east. Jumping out to Phoenix, the Arizona Diamondbacks hosted the LA Dodgers, and in this matchup, the Dodgers would beat the Diamondbacks 8-3 on the road, scoring 4 of their 8 in the 7th inning. For the Diamondbacks, the start and the loss went to Merrill Kelly. Kelly would allow 4 runs in 6.1 innings pitches. He struck out 6. With this loss, he's 7-8 on the year. In their batting lineup, their right fielder, Cole Calhoun, would go 2 for 4 with 2 RBIs and a run. Calhoun would hit his 3rd home run of the year. He was the only player on the Diamondbacks with more than 1 hit. For the Los Angeles Dodgers, the start was given to Mitch White. Mitch White would allow 2 earned runs in 3.2 innings pitched as he struck out 5. The win was given to the Dodgers' third relief pitcher on the day, Alex Vesia. Vesia allowed no earned runs in 1 inning pitched. With this win, he's 1-1 on the year. In the Dodgers batting lineup, their all-star shortstop, Chris Taylor, would end up going 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run. Their all-star second baseman, Max Muncy, would go 2 for 4 with an RBI and a run. Their all-star third baseman, Justin Turner, would go 2 for 5 with 2 RBIs and a run as Justin Turner hit his 19th home run of the season. Their left fielder, A.J. Pollock, would end up going 2 for 5 with 2 runs. Their elite center fielder, former National League MVP Cody Bellinger, would go 2 for 5 with the run as well. Their future Hall of Fame pinch hitting first baseman Albert Pujols would go 2 for 2 with 2 RBIs as well. And with this win, the Los Angeles Dodgers are now 63-43. That is the second best record in the National League West as they've won 4 of their last 10. They now trail the San Francisco Giants by 3 games in the division as they are currently holding on to the top seed in the National League wild card. They sit 3.5 games ahead of the second-place San Diego Padres in their division. And with this loss, the Arizona Diamondbacks are now 33-72. That is the worst record in the National League West, and that is also the worst record in the National League. They've lost 4 of their last 10 games, and they now sit 32 and a half games behind the division-leading San Francisco Giants at the moment. And jumping out to San Diego, last but not least, the San Diego Padres hosted the Colorado Rockies, and the Rockies would pull up a 5-3 road win to pick up their 46th win of the year. For the San Diego Padres, the start and the loss went to their elite starting pitcher, former Cy Young winner Yu Darvish. Darvish allowed 5 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 8. With this win, Darvish is 7-6 on the year. In their batting lineup, their first baseman Eric Hosmer would go 2 for 4 as he was the only player on the team with more than 1 hit. For the Colorado Rockies, the start and the win went to German Marquez. Marquez allowed 2 earned runs in 6 innings pitched as he struck out 7. With this win, he's 9-8 on the year. The save went to their closer, Daniel Bard. Daniel Bard allowed 1 earned run in 1 inning pitched. With this save, he now has 16 on the season. And in their batting lineup, their left fielder Connor Joe would end up going 2 for 3 with an RBI. He was the only player on the team with more than 1 hit. With this win, the Colorado Rockies are now 46-59. That is the 4th best record in the National League West, as they've won their last 2 games and they've won 5 of their last 10. They now trail the San Francisco Giants by 19 and a half games in the division. And with this loss, the San Diego Padres are now 60-47. That is the 3rd best record in the National League West, as they have now lost their last 2 games and they've lost 5 of their last 10. They now trail the San Francisco Giants by 6.5 games in the division, and they are holding on to the 2nd National League wildcard spot, sitting 3.5 games behind the first place LA Dodgers and sitting 4 games ahead of the Cincinnati Reds, who are the first team on the outside looking in. That is what the MLB is looking like as we lead into today, and looking out to what's been happening in the 8th day of Olympic medaling, just looking at how the gold medal is placed. In archery, the men's individual gold medal went to Mete Gazoz of Turkey. In track and field, the men's discus throw gold medal went to Daniel Stahl of Sweden. The women's 100 meters dash gold went to Elaine Thompson-Herah of Jamaica, as the silver and bronze medals were also from Jamaica as well. The gold for the mixed 4x400 relay went to Poland. And badminton, the men's doubles gold medal went to Chinese Taipei, as they were able to defeat China in the final. In fencing, women's team saber, the gold medal went to the Russian Olympic Committee, as they were able to beat France in the gold medal matchup. In judo, mixed team matchup, the gold went to France, as they were able to beat Japan. In rugby, the women's sevens gold went to New Zealand, as New Zealand was able to beat France in the final. In sailing and men's windsurfer RS, the gold medal went to Kieran Badlow of the Netherlands, and the women's windsurfer gold went to Yunju Liu of China. In shooting, the gold medal for women's 50-meter 3 positions went to Nina Christian of Switzerland, and the mixed team trap gold went to Spain, as they beat San Marino in the final. In swimming, the men's 100-meter butterfly gold went to Caleb Dressel, another gold for the United States, especially for him. For the women's 200-meter backstroke, the gold went to Katie McKeown of Australia. The women's 100-meter freestyle gold went to Katie Ledecky. The mixed 4x100-meter relay gold went to Great Britain. Jumping out to tennis, the women's singles gold went to Belinda Bencic of Switzerland. She was able to beat Marketa Vondrosova of the Czech Republic. And the men's trampoline competition, the gold medal went to Ivan Litvinovich of Belarus. In the triathlon mixed relay, the gold went to Great Britain. In weightlifting, men's 81 kilogram, the gold went to Xiaojun Liu of China. And the men's 96 kilogram gold went to Fares Elbach of Qatar. And looking out to what's going on, especially in the world of soccer, especially today. Today is the CONCACAF Gold Cup matchup, as the United States will face off against Mexico. Most of the best players from both teams are already suiting up for their European clubs, but this will still be a big matchup just to see what both teams do with both teams that are out there. But with that said, I want to thank everyone once again for listening to this piece I hope all is well, and I will catch you with another episode of this once all of today's matchups and episodes and matchups are complete. I will come back tomorrow, Monday, August 2nd, for another installment of the Elite. So until then, I want to thank everyone for listening to this piece. I hope all is well, and I'll catch you tomorrow. Peace out.